how to attract money using the law of attraction. And I'm talking really. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how the law of attraction really works and how so many people misinterpret it they think their own gain, but they don't get anything. At the end, I'm going to talk about a creative strategic process Bob Proctor and I put together that will every time 100% change your mind with money. So specifically, I'm going to talk about three things. I'm going to talk about the law of attraction. What is it? Like, really? How do you really monetize from the law of attraction? And believe me, most people get it wrong. And then the third and the big one for the end, Bob Proctor and I designed a program called The Expression of Your Power. And how do you express your power outwardly, and the creative strategic process that will literally fix any mindset issue you have 100% of the time. Let's roll. So what is the law of attraction, right? So I was in The Secret, 27 other authors. There are some like Bob Proctor who have committed their life to just that subconscious conversation and how to do it. If you think about it from my perspective, right? The money conversation. Well, how does it really happen, right? So thoughts, according to most people, which I do believe, thoughts have power. And what you give attention to is what you're going to get more of. So the way that I describe it is, because I have an exercise physiology background, this first chapter of my life, think about it like muscle conditioning. It's probably the easiest way I describe the law of attraction. And having done this now for 15 years post The Secret, this is the easiest way that people get it, right? If you're going to go to the gym, you just don't get to go one time. You got to go for weeks and weeks and weeks. And you have to strengthen very specific muscle groups to grow the muscle, right? So you're giving attention, you're giving repetition, you're giving discipline to a muscle to condition it to grow. On the other hand, if you go once and then you go home and sit on the couch, anything you give no attention to will atrophy, right? So think of this as a muscle conditioning conversation. And my specifically is, how am I going to condition you to make more money? Well, in the law of attraction, here's the biggest challenge that I see with most people. They say they want something, but what they do is completely opposite of what they say they want, right? So their words and their actions aren't aligned at all. In fact, they're completely opposite. I want to make money, but I'm not going to do anything to go create new money, including get a job. I love the people that are currently in this environment on unemployment by choice, not because they have to, but by choice, and acting like they want to make money and then doing nothing. So if you take a spiritual angle to this, which I will. So some people call universe, some call, extra energy. I call like that whole energy God. So call it whatever you want. Right? Superpower, whatever you want. You've got to be really clear on how you are speaking, thinking, and aligning. I call it a RALT principle. In fact, I'm going to, at the end, talk a little bit about the program Bob Proctor and I put together a long time ago, but it still holds true today. If you want certain results, it's called RALT, right? If you want certain results, you have to follow it with the actions that align to the result, the language that you speak out of your mouth, and how you think. So your RALT, right, has to be in alignment. And a lot of you aren't. And if you really get micro during your day, try this for the day. Just make a list of all the things you're thinking about, and then notice within seconds how you're going to have, within nanoseconds, you're going to have all this negativity or reasons why things can't work happen. So you have an opportunity. You have what I call a yes moment, something exciting that you want in your life, and then you immediately, within nanoseconds, just discredit it. And women, you do it more than men do. And you come up with every reason, I don't have time, I don't have this, and every reason why the thing can't happen. So law of attraction is about conditioning that muscle for what it is you do want. So what you want to be doing is taking a very short list. This isn't a list of every area of your life and everything that you want. Like, you want more money. Right? Simple. Like, how are you going to make it? Like, down to the details. And I'll get you the plan of how to details. But just staying on the law of attraction, when you say I want more money, then you have to be very cautious, very cautious to not counter it with everything else that isn't going to produce money. So for example, if you want money and you're an entrepreneur, you have to sell something. I call it serve somebody, right? So if you want financial education, I'm going to serve you. I'm going to give you right? Content. You want more and more content, it becomes a sale, right? You're going to pay me for it. But I'm going to be focused 100% only on money generating activities and ideas. And when you flip back and forth, you tell God, universe, superpower, whatever you want to call it, you're confused. And that's what I see. The biggest mistake I see people do, right, and make is in their language and their action. So yes, it spurs from your thinking, but you're back and forth. You say you want this, and then you do this. You say you want this, and then you do this. It doesn't work that way. You have to have the clarity to lead. Like when you heard Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen and a lot of us, that have talked in The Secret say, well, I wanted my company to do this. I wanted 7 figures. I wanted 8 figures. I mean, it is a complete focus of not only the leader, but the team, knowing that not only am I going to get this result, what are the actions that are going to cause the result? What's the language that's going to be tolerated? And that will change your thinking over time. It is so strategically laid out. Bob and I created, again, this creative strategic process that I'll go into in a moment that clearly breaks down every one of those moves. So when you hear people say, well, they're just better at the law of attraction, no, they're not confused. I'll hear people say, well, I'm listening to Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey, and then I listen to you, and I'm not sure what to do. And I'll say, well, do you want it simple and safe, or do you want to become a millionaire? I mean, never has Ramsey, Susie Orman, Dave Bach, any of those guys promised you millionaire status. They promise safe, secure, boring results, right? And a lot of times inaccurate. If you want to be a millionaire, completely different. They're going to tell you to not have debt. I'm going to tell you to have debt. They're going to tell you you have to be debt-free. Ramsey actually says be debt-free before you go buy a home. Totally different. So same with law of attraction. Do you want to be a millionaire? You don't listen to Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey, right? You have to get in line. Now you could read Rich Dad Poor Dad. You could listen to Bob Proctor. Like we're all in alignment. So a lot of you, your confusion and lack of alignment in the way you're thinking and how you think about things is what's causing you to not attract in your law of attraction. The other thing I've got to bring in, another facet of this, is your friends and family. Sometimes they're your worst enemy in this conversation because you say, I'm going to go out and do this. I'm going to work with Loral. I'm going to work with her team. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to go buy real estate, whatever you want. And what are they going to say? Every reason why you can't do it. Oh, you've tried that before. You've done that before. Again, this discord between what you want and how you're being supported isn't going to work. So when I talk about alignment, it's 100% alignment to muscle conditioning for what it is you want. And you're going to grow that muscle. And every day, you're going to focus on it. Every day, you're going to do the actions to get you what you want and what you deserve. So the clarity is one of the biggest pieces in moving towards having a really clear process and action towards the law of attraction. So before I continue, I really want you to jump into the comments and tell me an area of your life where you attempted to use the law of attraction and it was successful, or you've used the law of attraction or you thought you were and it wasn't successful. Give me some stories so we can really work with it. And if you're really serious about picking up the phone and having a conversation with somebody on my team, give us your name and your phone number. Not your email, your phone number, because we pick up the phone and we do very high touch to this conversation. It's critical you get this right. So, energetically, right? I'm going to say energetically and spiritually. When you say that, this isn't working, I would say you have a misalignment and a confusion, because these gifts that you have, meaning all the gifts and knowledge that I was given, to me, those are gifts from God. And it is my obligation, responsibility, however you want to say it, to then bring it out to the world, to bring it to all of you so you get to change your life and have a better life with it. So there's an alignment from what I am doing to the result. There's a misalignment from a lot of you because you're not clear what you want, right? Or you say you want this and then you have support that's completely misaligned to it. So you've got to get in alignment to the result you want. The actions, the how-to are never the problem. That means you just don't have the knowledge. Like, how many times have you ever just stopped and said, I'm going to become financially literate and I'm going to learn more about money, not about business, about money. See, most of you, the reason why you have mindset or issues around money is because you just don't know it. So don't confuse law of attraction, which is a spiritual manifestation of thoughts, language, actions to results, with you just don't know anything. There's a huge difference. And I find it's one of with what I teach in money, it's actually the number one confusion. I don't know how many people are on my comments or in my different social platforms and say, I got mindset issues. And I'll say, no, you have knowledge issues. And there's a big difference between you just don't know money, you just don't know debt, you just don't know how to invest. You haven't been taught. So don't confuse the two. I find a lot of people are really denying themselves an amazing life of having great results because you just don't know. It's time to stop. It's time to learn. So let's go to the third and I'd say most fun work I've ever created in this conversation, which is the expression of your power. And I did it with Bob Proctor. In fact, I flew to his house in Toronto and we sat around his kitchen table, and then we flew into Nightingale Conan in Chicago and we filmed the expression of your power. And we created what was called the creative strategic process. And it's a 12-step process that's going to literally walk you through within a week. But it's going to take a couple months, but you'll identify everything within a week. From where are you? What do you think about? How do you break that down? Where's the noise in your life? How do you clarify? How do you clean it out? And how do you restructure your entire mind thought process? It is completely in detail, 12 steps, phenomenal process. And guess what? I'm going to give it to you. So you're going to go to the description, you're going to click on the link, and I'm going to give you the section of creative strategic process. It's a 12-step process. I'm going to give you that portion of it. Now, if you want more, we're going to have a conversation, but just that 12 steps should totally change your relationship to the law of attraction and your relationship to what you deserve and what you want. So it's going to give total clarity and total alignment to what you want and honestly to what you deserve.